Hey, what's up, my know-it-alls? Yes, it's time for another review, and it's of Lower Decks, episode 3, In the Cradle of Vexilon.
What she said. So, sit back, relax. We're going to go ahead and get into it right now. So this is a fun episode. Listen, again, I've gotten sort of in the groove of not necessarily doing verbatim recaps, only because those things took a long time. And frankly, you guys just want to hear us talk about this thing. So the end of the day, the episode's very simple. It's broken up into 3 basic parts, and at the end, it's so funny. They sell you on the Boimler thing. Boimler's leading his first away mission. It's all these other ensigns who he's worked with before, who he's very familiar with. And there's a very unsafe thing they have to do. But really, the point is it's an entire mission that the Ceritos is doing on this planet. It's not even a planet. It's an alien superstructure or megastructure. And it's this ring.
It's the ring. I think that's what they called it, the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I had to add.
That's awesome. She's like, that's all I got. And so they have to go, and you see the captain. She's helping the people themselves deal with the actual interface, the AI interface named Vexilon. And she's taken really good Starfleet Academy courses like archaic technology, which, I mean, that sounds like a fun major. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're looking at going to school. Would you take archaic technology?
No, that seems way too much work.
That's like the art history of the 25th century. So
that might be offensive to people who take art history.
Oh my God, I love you so much. That's kind of the joke, but I hear you. No, I do hear you. So the entire premise is that obviously Freeman shouldn't be messing with the computer, but she manages to have to do an update because apparently the Vexilon hasn't had an update in 6 million years. Go figure. So so then finally she calls an engineer down to help and whatnot, but at the end, because when she's doing her update, she has to essentially reboot the entire thing, which, I don't know, sends it into a night and day loop. The volcanoes are rising, cats and dogs.
It completely throws off their, everyday type thing.
That's right. So it's like, what are you going to do? So then, and the whole time, Boimler is too scared, back with him, he's too scared to assign the jobs that they're supposed to be assigning to the ensigns. He's like...
But, that's on brand for him.
Yeah.
Being scared of everything...
It is, but at the same time, he's always good at his job, and it's funny. I think he's like the perfect model of Starfleet in that, yes, they do scary things all the time, but part of what you do is, but I'm Starfleet, I had to do the job, I'm gonna focus on the science of the job. Because essentially, remember, they're basically scientists, okay? They're not a military, even though it feels a lot like that sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so they're literally dealing with stuff that's this dangerous, and he's always the one kind of focusing and doing it. So what does he do? He starts trying to do everything for them. Telen, the
Spock girl.
I want it known. She is heretofore forever known as the Spock girl.
Because she looks like Spock.
No, totally, she does. But so then he finally finally Freeman calls an engineer down who helps them fix the main problem. However, there's an issue that they have to do at the main thing, and this is one of those moments that's very Starfleet command. By that I mean the command structure, Red. In that he basically says, okay, I can handle the rest of this, everybody get out. And everyone's like, well, wait, blah, blah, blah. And Talen's like, you heard him, everybody out. Mm. And then he does the thing, and of course, it's the very last second, and it explodes. And you're like...
You forgot the part where he finally let them help.
Okay, go ahead, tell me.
Okay, so basically he was like, no, I'm going to do it all by myself. And then Spock Girl was like, oh, wait, but, you kind of have to, let them help. And he was like, okay. So he was running back with all of these bomb things in his hands. And he was like, okay, well, I guess you guys can help. And then but he actually took charge. That's just me talking as I'm tired. And so they all help or whatever. And then at one point it overheats and he has to press a button. And so he presses a button and it explodes and he dies.
So apparently he sort of dies. They do the classic, I say classic, it's from Picard, where Boimler wakes up and he's in this weird, like, abstract painting living room.
With a holographic koala?
It's not. It's the space koala. By the way, opening shout out to the opening intro where the little ship flies by. You got to see the space koala. I'll put it here on the screen. And so yeah, man, I was like, okay, I like what Boems is doing, and it's yeah, man, of course.
I know.
Meanwhile, on the ship, the third section of this thing, so you have an A plot, a B plot, and a C plot. A plot being Freeman and the Vexilon, B plot being Boimler and the ensigns, and then the C plot is our other lower decks people. So that would be Mariner, Rutherford, and Tendi are on the ship, and there's a lieutenant who says that they have to scan all of the isolinear chips in this one particular area that's like really hot and the whole thing. And everybody, they're making fun of the fact, oh, well, we're just being hazed because we've been promoted and this and that. And Tendi's getting real upset about it because, you know, she's got that Orion blood and she gets real angry about stuff. And so literally they have to, there's like thousands of isolinear chips, and by the time they're finished, dude walks in and he's like, oh, by the way, yeah, you didn't finish the second run of them. And all the walls go up and it's like another 1,000 of these things.
Yeah, they were not happy.
It was rough. It was very rough.
Oh, and it was like twice as hot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
And then like they have to have these like air masks because like the air like
it injects nitrogen into the room to cool down all the isolinear chips. So they have to wear these things while getting the second rung. They have to use with like tweezers. It's the most ridiculous thing, but it feels somehow very, very like on
Then
brand.
they set up a trap with this talking box. And the thing that's like, I don't know. I think it's kind of like Colorful Saw, low-key.
She's talking about the game. Remember Alan Moraine, that whole thing from Deep Space Nine? Apparently, now that they're lieutenants, they have access to the anomalies room, which it's sort of a weird, basically call it the Easter egg room. How about that? Because it's all this Easter eggy stuff from Star Trek The Next Generation. But yeah, that was awesome. And they get stuck in the game, and it's the whole hopscotch thing.
Rutherford gets stuck in the game, and
he has to
he
basically
blows
run.
it away with flying colors.
What do they call that? Those video games when you're doing the run?
Speed run.
Yeah, he basically has to speed run through the game. So.
But he did good. He did better than that one guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so then they finally get out and the whole thing, and they set this trap up, which she's talking about, with all the anomalies in dude's room. But I guess knowing that that's gonna happen, he starts to tell them. He starts to tell her the sob story. So Mariner has to keep him busy while the others break down everything, and that's when Rutherford got stuck in it.
Tendi finds the missing piece.
Yes.
Thing.
She manages to find
she does a speed run of her own, honestly. So.
She's pretty awesome. But yeah, man. So did anything else catch your eye for the episode you could think of?
The ferret.
Right? The chief engineer's got a ferret, and we see it immediately in the anomalies room where the large bat'leth of Kalis is, and they then from the rest of the episode it's running through all the stuff in the ship, and then at the very end. Oh, but the very, very button end you see from Reese Ransom and I don't know, Ensign Larry. We'll call him the guy who gave him the assignment, and apparently it was some form of hazing.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he released the ferret onto Rutherford.
As one does. So there you go. Now you know. And if knowing is half the battle, you're halfway to being a know-it-all yourself. What's the know-it-all index for this episode? What is your particular rating?
I'll give it an 8.
Okay, right on. I like this episode too. Yeah, I'll also give it an 8.
It was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it wasn't too shabby. So comment below. Let us know what you thought. We'd love to hear more about your opinions of the episode. Was it crazy? Was it a little too much? Also, I feel like the show's definitely gotten very comfortable in its own skin, and I'm looking forward to seeing sort of this more evolved look at the next
Are we supposed to have more seasons? Sorry,
I think so. No, I think so. I think we're supposed to be getting more seasons eventually. Now, obviously, we're in the middle of a writer's strike, which means a lot of those things will ultimately be determined by how that stuff turns out. But yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. The show's doing really well, and it's very successful. I know that they canceled, or not, well, they didn't cancel Prodigy, but either way, there's some things going on in the animation world. Are you watching any of the very short treks on the Star Trek YouTube channel? If you're not, check them out. They're kind of good. I don't know that I say kind of good. They're odd. So I haven't reviewed them on the channel because I don't know what to make of them. Because I don't want to hate on them like everybody else is, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Anyway, so, all right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Never forget.
Everyone loves a know-it-all.
You heard her. See you next week.